Well, this is probably not the news you want to hear during our summer storm season, but the days of getting an affordable roof replacement after hail damage may be over. KARE 11's Lou Ragoo shows us who's already seeing costs go through the roof and why more may soon follow.
Joan Hasper and Floyd Graybill have each lived at the Wynwood condominium for a number of years, but this last year,
The last year's been hell, to be honest with you.
their monthly homeowners association fees shot up.
When I moved in, were about $500-600 a month. Now they're over $1,100.
My assessment went up about 35%. Fortunately, I'm able to pay it. Some of our longer-term residents might not be able to pay it as easily as I have been.
It's happening to people all over Minnesota, and the reason, quite simply, is hail.
Here in Minnesota, we're the second largest area or region for hail next to Colorado.
Kate Grushmacher, president of Cities Management, says the cost of master insurance policies, which cover the roofs and exteriors of homes within HOAs, have increased exponentially.
In some cases, we're seeing 300, 400, 500% increases, which is just amazing.
The impact those folks feel full force is now starting to reach owners of single-family homes as well.
The day of having the insurance company come out and pay for your entire roof and maybe only have a $1,000 deductible, I think those days have come and gone.
Eric Scarns, president of Insurance Warehouse, is considered by many in the industry to be one of the foremost insurance experts in the state. He says that until 2008, Minnesota was one of the most profitable states in the country for insurance companies. But the rising number of yearly hailstorms since then has now made Minnesota one of the 5 least profitable states. According to the National Centers for Environmental Information, Minnesota had an average of 237 hail reports each year from 2000 to 2003. But from 2020 to 2023, there were an average of 363 hail reports each year.
So insurance companies are losing money right now in Minnesota.
On average, we've seen carriers in Minnesota, for every dollar they collect in insurance premiums on the HOA space, they've paid out roughly $1.40 in claims.
The insurance companies, Scarns says, are now closing that gap by raising premiums, raising deductibles, and adding exclusions that make the homeowner pay a larger portion of a roof replacement after a future damaging storm.
So a lot of them have gotten clever with their language and their deductible structure so that either the deductible is large enough or there's exclusions in the policy that would eliminate a large portion of the roof coverage.
Those who haven't experienced changes yet likely will when their policy renews, Scarns says. And the situation with condos and townhomes is more complicated and even worse. Homeowners pay for those master policies covering the roofs and siding through their HOA dues. But nearly all the major companies offering master policies have pulled out of Minnesota. That forces HOAs, like the one Joan and Floyd are part of, to take whatever policy they can get at up to 400% of the cost.
And were there limited options?
Very limited.
There was one option.
Yeah, that was it.
One option.
You were stuck.
Yes,
We were stuck.
Absolutely.
We were stuck.
Scarns recommends everyone ask their insurance agent to explain what their new private policy covers before the next hailstorm comes. And despite all this gloom, Scarns is actually optimistic that stability is on the horizon.
My hope is that we've kind of hit this plateau of how awful it can get. I think rates have gotten high enough. I think carriers have reduced their exposure enough with the wind hail deductibles and some of the exclusions that they've put into policies. And so I do think that carriers will start to be profitable again in Minnesota.
Now, 2022 and 2023 had some especially damaging hailstorms. On August 11th last summer, storms across Minnesota caused $1.1 billion in damage. And in May 2022, there were 2 storms just a week apart that caused a grand total of $5.3 billion of damage in Minnesota and western Wisconsin.